Welcome to Horror Year, where every story is a journey into the unknown. If you're brave enough to face your darkest fears and uncover the most chilling tales, you've come to the right place. So, dim the lights, turn up the volume, and subscribe to Horror Year. Your journey into terror begins now. The deep forest was illuminated with an orange glow as the sun descended. Deep in the dark woods, four friends, Jack, Sarah, Ben, and Emily, set up camp. The weekend trip was meant to be an exciting opportunity to escape the bustle of the city. They had no idea that the bustling city would seem like paradise in comparison to the tragedy that was about to unfold. Sarah observed a peculiar mist sneaking through the trees as the campfire crackled. Her question was concerned. "Is that fog normal this time of year?" she inquired. Ben shrugged as he watched the tall pines dance with ghostly shadows created by his flashlight. "You don't need to worry," he answered. "It's just the woods playing tricks on us," but his voice lacked the assurance he usually had. Abruptly, a scream as cold as steel broke the silence. It came from something strange as it resonated through the trees, too human to be an animal, but warped nonetheless. Grasping the hatchet he had been using to chop firewood, Jack leaped out of his seat. "We must investigate that. It looks like someone could be in trouble," he added, glancing in the direction of the cry. The others gave one another a nervous look but agreed with a nod. They descended farther into the forest, the formerly serene atmosphere giving way to a deafening quiet. Their surroundings grew more dense with mist, obstructing their vision and dampening their footfall. Emily tried to brush it off with a joke, ever the skeptic. "It's most likely just a wandering hiker. We will locate them, and..." The sound of coming, heavy footsteps interrupted her. The hairs on the back of their necks stood up as they all froze. A figure stepped out of the darkness, its skin deathly pale, its garments ripped. It lurched toward them. The sunken eyes of the apparition gave off a faint shine in the soft moonlight. "Is that a person?" Sarah uttered a whisper, her heart racing. With a loud, guttural snarl, the figure leaped at them before anyone could respond. Jack struck the figure's shoulder with the hatchet as it swung, but instead of falling, the beast continued to howl with rage. "It's not human." With horror in her voice, Emily yelled, "Run!" As more individuals emerged from the mist and their groans resounded through the trees, they leaped across the woods, adrenaline rushing. It was an army of the undead, a horde. "How is this happening?" Ben let out a cry and ran, his legs burning. "Zombies aren't real." "Tell that to them." Jack retaliated with a roar, fiercely swinging his hatchet at any monster that approached too closely. They discovered a deserted ranger station with broken windows and doors hanging off their hinges. They pushed a large desk up against the entrance as they desperately tried to seal themselves inside. The zombies' groans outside grew louder as they slapped on the windows and walls with their rotting hands. Sarah gasped for air and said, "We can't stay here. They'll break through eventually." Jack dabbed at his perspiration and looked about, searching for anything that would help them live. "Weapons are necessary. Something has to be going on here." Ben dug into a dusty cupboard and produced an ancient shotgun with a corroded barrel that was still in working order. He remarked, "This might give us a chance," as he loaded it with shaky hands. The undead continued their relentless clawing at the station for hours on end. The rumbling halted, just when they believed the walls would give way. "Do you think they left?" Emily said in a whisper, her voice almost heard above the unsettling quiet. Jack looked through a crack in the door and indicated for everyone to be quiet. The mist hung heavy over the earth, and the woods remained still. But there was a strange feeling. "They are no longer there, but we have to move right away," Jack uttered, his voice tense with anxiety. The buddies sensed their horror was far from finished as soon as they emerged into the clearing. The undead were just the start of the danger that had turned the forests into. A mysterious figure stood somewhere deep in the jungle observing them. It was still dealing with them and managing the outbreak. Being out of the woods before morning was the only hope left for the survivors, because the woods would seize them as their own the moment the sun rose. indefinitely. And now, as the sun rises over the dark woods, the question is, what would you do? Would you keep running, knowing something more terrifying lurks in the shadows controlling the undead? Or would you fight back, knowing the odds are stacked against you? The woods may have let Jack, Sarah, Ben, and Emily survive the night, but the real challenge begins with the dawn. Because in a place like this, the darkness doesn't just fade with the morning light. It lives, it breathes, and it waits. So the next time you're out camping, take a good look around. If you hear footsteps behind you or spot a strange mist creeping through the trees, run. You never know who or what is watching. The dark woods might just be waiting for you too.